Every NBA draft will always have a few all-star caliber players selected in the lottery, but of course, plenty of teams will end up being extremely disappointed after passing on great players, drafting others that didn't turn out too well. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. As we can't wait to see who's actually going to be great in the 2018 draft, it's always too early to tell which players will end up being a bust and which ones will actually turn their careers around. Here are the biggest busts from every NBA draft class starting from 2000. Stromile Swift. Without question, one of the worst draft classes in NBA history, if not the worst. The 2000 NBA draft had a combined 3 All-Stars in Kenyon Martin, Michael Redd, and Jamal McLaurin. Swift, selected 2nd overall by the Vancouver Grizzlies, was viewed as the franchise-changing player with all the athletic tools from a power forward, looked at as nothing but upside, who can block shots and knock down the outside jumper. Swift played 9 seasons in the NBA, averaged 8.4 points, 4.5 rebounds in 547 games, made little to no impact in 7.5 seasons with the Grizzlies, only averaged double-digit in points twice, did not live up to expectations, was only memorable for a couple insane dunks. Honorable mentions include Darius Miles and Marcus Fizer, the 2 players drafted right after Swift. You can also make the case for other guys as well. In the 2001 draft, there was no question Kwame Brown was the biggest bust. Selected 1st overall, the 6'11 center was dreadful, known for his days playing with the Wizards and Lakers. Coming out of high school, Michael Jordan was the one who wanted Kwame in Washington, where at the time, people wondered if he was going to be the second coming of Kevin Garnett. Did play 12 seasons though, never developed the post game, averaged 6.6 points, 5.5 rebounds in 607 NBA games, started in almost half his games, was known for his sloppy plays, missed layups, even booed by Laker fans before LA traded him for Pau Gasol. In 2002, Nicholas Skitishvili, selected 5th overall by the Nuggets, most young NBA fans probably never heard of him, ended up playing 4 seasons in the NBA, averaged 2.9 points, was selected ahead of Caron Butler and Amari Stoudemire. Before the NBA, the 7-foot power forward played in the Italian league under head coach Mike D'Antoni, averaged only 6.6 points, but D'Antoni, who was in the Nuggets organization from 1997 to 99, as director of player personnel, raved about him, giving the Nuggets horrible advice. Thankfully, they drafted Carmelo Anthony the year after. 2003, stating the obvious, Darko Milicic, no question about that. Even though he did play 10 seasons in the NBA, put up 6 points, 4.2 rebounds, will always be remembered for being drafted ahead of Melo, Wade, and Bosh. Ouch. 2004, Hafaya Avrujo, selected 8th overall by the Raptors, the 6'11 center only managed to last 3 seasons, put up 2.8 points, 2.8 rebounds in 139 games. He was amazing at BYU, averaged 18.5 points, over 10 boards his senior year, bullying guys smaller than him, but was already 23 years old at the time, never even recorded a double-double in the NBA. Luke Jackson and Robert Swift are honorable mentions. 2005, our goal of Yaroslav Karlov, drafted 12th overall by the Clippers, was a nightmare, averaged a pathetic 1.1 points over 2 seasons, appearing in just 34 games. Honorable mentions include Ike Diagu, who was drafted 9th overall by Golden State, averaged 6 points, 3 rebounds, lasted 6 seasons for 6 different teams, but currently playing overseas in China at 35 years old. Fran Vasquez, selected 11th overall by the Magic, never played in the NBA. 2006, Adam Morrison, one of the greatest college basketball players we ever seen. Morrison's skills did not translate over to the NBA. Selected 3rd overall by, of course, Michael Jordan. Morrison played 3 seasons, did pretty well his rookie year, putting up 11.8 points in Charlotte, but tore his ACL, a devastating injury that would haunt his career. Missed the entire 07-08 season before playing 2 more years with Kobe's Lakers as the last man on the bench. His career numbers of 7.5 points is pretty disappointing, but at least he won 2 championships. The 2 players drafted right behind Morrison, Tyrese Thomas and Sheldon Williams, are also major busts. As for the 2007 draft, knee injuries have cost Greg Oden millions. What seemed to be a promising career ended quickly. It's unfair to call someone a bust when they never had the chance to reach their full potential, but in the eyes of many, Oden will always be labeled as one. In my opinion, the biggest bust in this draft was Zhang Liang, who was labeled as the next Yao Ming, came into the league after putting up 24 points, 11 rebounds in the Chinese Basketball Association, played 5 seasons, put up nearly 8 and 5, just couldn't find his comfort zone in the NBA. 2008, Joe Alexander. The 6'8" small forward was selected 8th overall by the Milwaukee Bucks, lasted 2 seasons in the league, putting up 4.2 points in 67 total games. Frustrated and angry, Alexander gave his thoughts on the Bucks organization, claiming he was part of a dysfunctional franchise that misused him. The 31-year-old recently signed a 1-year deal to play in the Turkish Basketball Super League. 2009, Hasheem Thabeet. At 7'3", Thabeet was one of the most intriguing prospects in years, was an elite shot blocker at UConn who lacked offensive skills, never developed not even to the slightest amount, played 5 seasons, averaged a horrendous 2.2 points, 2.7 rebounds. Thabeet will end up being one of the biggest busts in NBA history, cause there were plenty of quality guys selected after him in Steph Curry, James Harden, and DeMar DeRozan. Just imagine if Memphis would have had one of those guys. Honorable mentions from this draft class includes Johnny Flynn and Jordan Hill. 2010, Wesley Johnson. I had a tough one deciding between Johnson and Evan Turner, but I'm going with the 6'7" small forward. Was already 23 years old coming out of Syracuse, wasn't able to capitalize as a shooter, never even averaged over 10 points in any season. At least Evan Turner was able to average 14 a game in the 2013-14 season. Johnson was also drafted ahead of all-star players like DeMarcus Cousins, Gordon Hayward, and Paul George. 2011, Jan Veselý. The 7-foot center from the Czech Republic lasted 3 seasons in the NBA, was an awful waste of a pick for the Wizards, averaged 3.6 points, 3.5 rebounds in 162 games, had a lot of hype coming into the draft, even claimed he was the European Blake Griffin. Ouch! Honorable mentions includes Derek Williams, who was drafted 2nd overall by the Timberwolves, and Jimmy Fredette selected 10th by the Kings. At least those two had some good NBA moments. 2012, Thomas Robinson. After not playing last season, Robinson will have another chance to redeem himself. After signing a non-guaranteed deal with the Hawks this offseason, will be on 7 different teams. Has averages of 4.9 points, 4.8 rebounds. At 27 years old, it's hard to see him getting any better. 2013, of course it's Anthony Bennett. The 1st overall pick selected by the Cavs was flat out awful on all cylinders. Will likely never get a chance to play for an NBA team again, having career averages of 4.4 points, 3.1 rebounds, and the crazy thing is, he's still only 25 years old. Sure, there's a bunch of disappointing players in that draft, but Anthony Bennett is so bad, you can certainly make the case he might be the worst out of all the 60 players selected in 2013. 2014, Nick Stauskas. I had a difficult time deciding who's the bigger bust at this point of their careers between Stauskas and Noah Vonleh, who was selected 8th and 9th overall. Stauskas signed a 1-year, $1.6 million contract with Portland, had a tough time getting minutes for the Nets, averaged 5 points in Brooklyn, while Vonleh put up 7 and 7 in 21 games with the Bulls last season. Will have a chance to redeem himself with the Knicks. Dante Exum has also been a disappointment, but was slowed down by injuries. Will have a chance to prove himself next season, definitely way more of an upside than both Stauskas and Vonleh. 2015, for now I'll go with Mario Hezonja, although I could be wrong depending on how he'll do next season. Was a disaster during his 3 years with Orlando, but shown improvement, averaging 9.6 points last season. Jahlil Okafor is also worth a mention. After Philly refused to play him, struggled to get minutes in Brooklyn, was even out of shape. Now he'll have the chance to prove what he's worth with the Pelicans. Other guys like Emmanuel Mudiay, Stanley Johnson, and Justice Winslow will also have to prove themselves next season. Otherwise, some of them might be out of the league come 2020. 2016, I'll go with Dragan Bender, who was selected 4th overall by Phoenix. The 7'1" power forward shot under 40% from the field each of his 2 seasons, but the flip side is, he's still only 20 years old and will still have plenty of time to turn his career around. Another guy who looks like a bust, Giorgio Papagiannis. After playing with the Kings and Blazers, he'll be playing in his hometown in Greece, perhaps might never play in the NBA again. 2017, it's way too early to tell at this point. If I had to choose one right now, I'll go with Malik Monk, who was an excellent scorer at Kentucky, only averaged 6.7 points on 36% shooting with Charlotte, doesn't really do anything else on the floor, so Monk's my early pick. For the 2018 draft class, it's impossible to tell, especially when the season's still a couple weeks away. I can totally be wrong on this one, but I'll go with Trae Young. With all the hype around him, selected 5th overall, I have a feeling Atlanta will forever regret trading Luka Doncic and getting Young, who to me has the biggest bust potential in this draft class, with his lack of size and defense a huge concern. Let me know who you guys think is the biggest NBA bust since 2000. Is it Kwame Brown, Darko Milicic, Hashim Thabit, Anthony Bennett, or someone else? Who will be the biggest bust of the 2018 draft class? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe to my channel. More great stuff coming soon. See you next time.